What's up, guys? Today we're going to be talking about how to defend a side kick. I know many people out there struggle with this because it's not thrown at you that frequently. First, let's go through, Suraj, let's just tell them about, let's just say the benefits of a side kick. Like, why is it harder for people to block? What are the advantages or the differences from a front kick that might make it awkward? Like, for me, one of the first things that I always sort of strikes me is just the difference in distance. So if I'm standing here normally and people are like, okay, the guy can just touch me, all of a sudden with a side kick, it's so much more distance. And I think that throws a lot of people off. That's maybe one of the reasons you're struggling with your side kick. Can you think of another one?
Mine's distance as well, but mine comes from more of the karate background and point fighting.
Yeah.
And being able to cover the distance as well.
Cover the distance, yeah.
So I find a lot of people, they're used to getting kicked from here, front kicks, side kicks, round kicks. But then if you have someone good from here, all of a sudden, you're gonna get that kick.
Yeah. And then just foot position too. It might seem like something small, but that versus that, it just throws people off in terms of catching. It's a little bit harder. If you catch me like sort of that Thai style, it's a lot easier for me to make that transition as opposed to the chest square. So there's lots of reasons to understand how to block a side kick. And if you're getting frustrated with it, it's not a big surprise. So you want to go first? Do you give us a side kick defense?
Sure.
We're just going to go straight up. This doesn't matter if I'm off my left leg or if I kick off my right leg. Spinning side kick's a little different. We're not going to touch on that today. But just in case you're wondering which leg, what if the guy switches? Doesn't matter. So I'll come towards you with a side kick. I'll go from a side stance because a lot of people do that. So
That's my most basic.
It's the most basic one, but it's the one that people ask me all the time. I throw a front kick and then the side kick comes. Why not do the exact same thing? The distance is a little bit more aggressive. So you're moving both your feet to create the distance, and if you decide to hollow out, you just have to create a little bit of extra space. And do you just usually low kick counter after?
Yeah, after that it's usually a low kick.
Low kick counter. And you guys have to remember too that even though there's advantages to a side kick, there's disadvantages. And look at my landing position, because I'm already sideways. When he scoops, I'm so out of position. So that's a negative of the side kick. It's so easy to chop. Next, the next one that I like to really use, and I find it works quite well, is the catch. Now, you want to be aware that this guy might go high. So again, I always clear my face as opposed to reach down low. But if he throws the side kick, I just catch. Again, he's already in a side stance or a side position, so I can just pull to the side, and now my sweep is really easy. He might have a little bit more distance on that kick, so I just have to be really good on my hollow out. And I have to be a little bit more aware that I got to pin it to my hip. I was doing an episode with Sensei Seth, and he was showing everybody how when he throws a side kick, he just fights his leg out. He wobbles it a bunch, and people can't hold on. You're not going to be able to hold on to a side kick out here. You've got to pin it to your side. So when he throws the kick, now if he tries to fight out, like, that's not going anywhere. So just use that as normal. Let's move to a new one. What's something else that you like to do for a side kick?
I'm going to go with just a simple block, and usually is just like the tie block, but in front. Sometimes when I got somebody coming in, the easiest thing to do is just pick up my knee. That
one works great for distance. Because the guy's way over here and you have lots of time to see it coming, it kind of hurts the bottom of my foot too. Do you ever find, I've had people ask me that, you get knocked backwards a bit. Is that ever an issue for you, or are you just good at like flamingoing on one foot?
I usually just flamingo it out if I do get knocked back.
Yeah, that's what I do too. So if the guy comes with lots of power and it's boom, it doesn't really matter. He didn't land. You're completely guarded up. If the guy happens to be somebody who's sliding, you have to be aware that he might come and do one of those transitions, but this one's perfect because you don't compromise your hands at all, right? No. Yeah, I love that one. And the last one that I do, which is not ideal, but better than getting kicked in the stomach, is just full on guarding up. So if I see somebody coming with a side kick, I'm like, okay, I didn't scoop, I didn't catch, I didn't get my shin up across and use that Thai style block. I'll just close the gap. He comes to kick me, and I'll just take it right there. At least I know he's not gonna hurt me. He might knock me backwards. It might feel unpleasant. He might win the exchange, but he's not gonna knock me out. And I've taken a lot of side kicks against Chinese athletes like that, and it never ever works. And you don't know sometimes about that. Is it body level or is it head level? Either way, when I come towards him, he's safe. And if you cover distance backwards, you get knocked back, that's fine. If you can counter with a low kick, that's even better, because again, they're always landing down in that side stance. call it there. I think those are the only 4 that I have.
Yeah, I was gonna say the only other thing would be maybe just add a little bit of movement with that. Don't
little
stand
movement.
still and try to just take it.
Yeah, that's a good point, because I have seen some of the guys, especially when you do the Thai side kick, some of the guys will fight like Lerdsila, who covers a lot of distance, and they'll get knocked down because they're so committed. Like if you kick at me and I'm like, I'm planting my feet, and then you get hit there, you're going back head first. But if you can just be aware that, you know, you bounce, he hits you, and then I just get moved back like that, it doesn't really score. So yeah, good point there. All right, guys, that's it. We just wrapped up some sparring, both getting ready for fights. So hopefully you'll see Suraj back on the channel again. Thanks for joining today. We'll see you guys back here soon for another episode.